What's up everyone and welcome back to MMA Talk. UFC 321 was a night filled with electrifying fights, intense emotions, and memorable moments, and among the crowd of stars, one legendary figure stood out. Former UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undefeated icon, widely regarded as one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time, was in attendance to support his close friend and teammate, Ikram Aliskerov, who competed earlier on the card. Aliskerov faced Junyong Park on the preliminary card and delivered a composed and strategic performance. Using his superior grappling and control, he dominated the exchanges and walked away with a unanimous decision victory. In his corner, Khabib's presence was unmistakable, calm, analytical, and focused, providing strategic direction between rounds. His trademark coaching composure, honed during his time mentoring fighters under the Eagle MMA banner, played a visible role in Aliskerov's success. But the night didn't end there for Khabib. Backstage, the former champion was seen having an in-depth conversation with interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall, who was preparing for his highly anticipated title defense against Ciryl Gane. Khabib, known for his deep understanding of fight IQ and mental preparation, offered Aspinall a few words of tactical wisdom, advice that perfectly encapsulated his philosophy of blending all aspects of martial arts into one seamless system. Khabib told Aspinall, "Sometimes boxing and wrestling are separate things, but when you use everything together, that's when you become dangerous. Combine your wrestling pressure with your boxing. Don't fight him as a striker alone. Ciryl Gane is a pure striker. He moves well, has great footwork, and uses his legs effectively. But if you apply pressure, real pressure, you'll make him think about more than just striking. Make him think about your takedowns, your level changes, your pressure. Once he starts to hesitate, that's when your hands will find their mark." He continued, emphasizing the mental battle inside the octagon. "When you set up your punches, show him something different. Make him believe you're going for a takedown, then come upstairs. Once his mind splits between defending the takedown and watching your strikes, he'll start to make mistakes. Every fight is about creating those small openings. Use everything together, your movement, your pressure, your conditioning, to break him." Aspinall, visibly appreciative, thanked Khabib for his time and insight, saying, "Appreciate it. Thank you very much." Moments like these highlight why Khabib remains one of the most respected figures in the sport, even in retirement. His analytical mind, calm demeanor, and understanding of MMA as a complete discipline continue to influence the next generation of fighters. From coaching Islam Makhachev to multiple title defenses to mentoring upcoming prospects like Aliskerov, Khabib's transition from fighter to mentor has been nothing short of seamless. At UFC 321, his presence served as a reminder of his enduring legacy, not just as an undefeated champion, but as a teacher whose lessons continue to shape the modern evolution of mixed martial arts. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out, and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. The main card of UFC 321 kicked off with a bang as Azamat Murzakanov delivered one of the most dominant performances of the night, securing a first-round TKO victory over Alexander Rakic. The fight, which took place in front of a roaring Abu Dhabi crowd, showcased Murzakanov's precise striking, timing, and composure, all of which have become trademarks of his fighting style. With this win, Murzakanov remains undefeated at 16-0, further cementing himself as one of the top rising contenders in the light heavyweight division. The victory also extended his active UFC win streak to 6, making it the second longest in the division, trailing only Carlos Ulberg, who currently leads with 9 consecutive wins. In addition, Murzakanov tied Ilia Topuria's record for the most consecutive UFC fights with a knockdown, 6 straight bouts, a statistic that highlights his consistent striking power and finishing instinct. The bout itself was fast-paced from the opening bell. Rakic, known for his technical kickboxing, tried to establish range early with low kicks and jabs, but Murzakanov's timing and counterpunching immediately became a problem. Midway through the round, Murzakanov landed a stiff right hand that stunned Rakic, followed by a crisp jab that dropped him moments later. Smelling blood, Murzakanov pounced, unleashing a flurry of punches that forced the referee to step in and call a stop to the contest. The MMA community quickly reacted to the impressive finish. Former UFC light heavyweight champion Jamahal Hill posted on social media, saying, "Damn, with a jab. This will be a fun one in the future." Lightweight fighter Terrence McKinney praised Murzakanov's striking instincts, writing, "Nasty timing on that right hand." Veteran welterweight Gilbert Burns also chimed in, stating simply, "Murzakanov is a problem. 16-0. Following his victory, Murzakanov expressed his excitement and gratitude in the post-fight interview. "I'm very happy to be back in Abu Dhabi," he said. "I'm really happy that I was able to give my fans the performance they were waiting for. I wanted to show my complete game plan tonight, and I believe I did exactly that." He continued, explaining that his preparation paid off. "I've been training with a lot of tall fighters, so facing Rakic wasn't a big issue for me. I knew how to close the distance and land effectively. I'm ready for the next step. If the UFC offers me a title fight, I'm prepared to get in there tomorrow." The dominant win places Murzakanov in a prime position within the light heavyweight title picture. With an undefeated record and multiple first-round finishes, he's rapidly gaining attention as a legitimate contender for championship contention. His mix of precision striking, knockout power, and confidence makes him a dangerous matchup for anyone in the division. Murzakanov's performance at UFC 321 was more than just another win, it was a statement. In a division searching for fresh challengers, his rise continues to captivate fans and fighters alike. If his trajectory continues, it may not be long before Azamat Murzakanov's name is mentioned alongside the elite of the light heavyweight class, and perhaps even in a title fight before long. Move on to another news. In one of the most hotly debated fights of UFC 321, Alexander Volkov secured a split decision victory over Brazilian grappling specialist Jailton Almeida. The bout, which served as one of the co-main attractions, was a clash of contrasting styles, Almeida's relentless grappling and top control versus Volkov's crisp striking and defensive durability. From the opening bell, Almeida immediately executed his game plan, closing the distance and securing multiple takedowns. For much of the fight, he maintained top position, controlling Volkov on the mat. However, his inability to inflict significant damage or pursue submissions became a defining factor in how fans and analysts viewed the contest. Volkov, on the other hand, made the most of his limited striking opportunities, landing the cleaner and more damaging shots when the fight was on the feet. When the final bell rang, the judges rendered a split decision in favor of Alexander Volkov. While many fans applauded the decision, calling it a just reflection of effective damage and aggression, others believed Almeida's control time warranted a win. The result quickly ignited a wave of discussion across the MMA community. Former UFC stars and analysts shared their reactions online. Chael Sonnen and Gilbert Burns both labeled the decision a robbery, suggesting that Almeida's positional dominance should have been rewarded. However, Ben Askren strongly disagreed, writing, "No way in hell Jailton Almeida won that fight. I don't care how long he was on top for, he did nothing with it." Curtis Blades was equally critical of Almeida's strategy, saying, "Almeida gives every grappler a bad name. He gets takedowns at will and just sits in Volkov's guard. No ground and pound, no submissions, just control." Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo echoed that sentiment, remarking, "He'll never sniff a title shot fighting like that. This is MMA, not jiu-jitsu. You've got to take risks and do damage." Former UFC analyst Dan Hardy supported the judge's decision, calling it fair and justified. "Almeida fought like he was terrified of striking," Hardy said. "Volkov was trying to win, Almeida was just trying not to lose." Meanwhile, Ariel Helwani added his take, "No issue with the decision. I'm glad the judges didn't reward the lay and pray approach. It was a tough watch, but Volkov did more with less time." Even the outspoken MMA guru didn't hold back, declaring, "Daniel Cormier was right, Almeida can't fight. He's killing the sport with this style." Following the fight, Volkov reflected on his victory with humility and honesty. "It was a hard fight," he admitted. "In the beginning, I saw the fight going differently, but I'm happy with the win. I tried to be active on the ground, even from bottom position. He just tried not to lose, but I came to win. It's difficult to fight someone who only wants to hold you." Volkov acknowledged Almeida's wrestling strength but emphasized his own composure. "He got some takedowns and made my takedown defense stats look worse," he said with a grin. "But I defended well, and my team executed the game plan perfectly. I tried to knock him out. I was aggressive early and landed clean punches. I believe I did enough to win." The Russian heavyweight also made his intentions clear for the future. "I've got 6 or maybe 7 wins in a row now," Volkov stated. "If you count the Ciryl Gane fight that I believe I should have won, I'm right there. It's my time to fight for the belt." With this win, Alexander Volkov continues his steady climb toward another title opportunity, while Jailton Almeida faces growing criticism over his risk-averse approach. The outcome of UFC 321 2021's co-main event may not have pleased everyone, but it reaffirmed a key MMA truth: control time alone does not win fights. Damage, activity, and the will to finish still matter most. Move on to another news. The main event of UFC 321 between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane ended in shocking and disappointing fashion, as the bout was declared a no contest following an accidental eye poke early in the first round. What was expected to be a high-level showdown between two of the best heavyweights in the world instead ended abruptly, leaving fans, fighters, and analysts frustrated and uncertain about what comes next for the division. The fight had barely begun when disaster struck. Gane, known for his crisp striking and distance management, threw a jab that unintentionally caught Aspinall directly in the eye. Aspinall immediately recoiled, blinking and holding his face in visible pain. Despite attempts by the referee to give him time to recover, the British heavyweight repeatedly stated that he could not see out of the injured eye. After a brief consultation with the ringside doctor, the fight was officially waved off, resulting in a no-contest ruling. As a result, Tom Aspinall remains the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, but the unsatisfying ending left both fighters and fans deflated. The crowd voiced their frustration, booing as the announcement was made, though many recognized that the outcome was unavoidable under the circumstances. The MMA community quickly took to social media to react to the chaotic finish. Lightweight contender Terrence McKinney commented, "Gane was smacking him with the jab, his eye was already closing. No way that wasn't serious." After reviewing the replay, McKinney added, "Turns out it was actually the other eye that got it worse." Bilal Muhammad, who himself has suffered a similar fate in the cage, empathized with Aspinall, saying, "I've been there, it's the worst feeling ever. Gane can't be mad, he clearly poked him. Fighters need to learn to keep their fingers closed." Featherweight standout Diego Lopez simply posted a string of facepalm emojis, expressing the collective disappointment of fans watching around the world. Dylan Donies added a controversial take, writing, "Well, at least now we know how Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall would have ended." Veteran middleweight Derek Brunson echoed what many were thinking, tweeting, "Wow, the fight ends with an eye poke. No contest. Is the heavyweight division cursed or what?" Meanwhile, former UFC star and analyst Chael Sonnen jokingly imagined Aspinall's thoughts in the moment, quipping, "I'm still champion, guys. I just got poked knuckle deep in the eyeball. Why are you booing me? What am I supposed to do? Fight blind?" After the official ruling, Aspinall was visibly upset, expressing his disappointment before being transported to a nearby hospital for medical evaluation. "The fight was just getting started," he said. "This is absolute nonsense. I'm pissed off." His frustration was understandable. This was supposed to be one of the biggest title defenses of his career, and instead, it ended in unfortunate circumstances. In the aftermath, Alex Pereira posted a video on Instagram with the caption, "Let's make the heavyweight division great again," hinting through emojis that he might be eyeing a potential fight against Jon Jones, possibly at the rumored White House event that's been circulating in MMA news circles. The anticlimactic finish left the UFC heavyweight landscape clouded in uncertainty. While Aspinall retains his title, questions loom large. Will there be an immediate rematch? Will Gane face disciplinary measures or criticism for his striking technique? And most importantly, how soon can Aspinall recover and return to defend his belt? For now, fans are left hoping that this disappointing chapter leads to a clearer and more decisive outcome in the near future. Despite the unfortunate ending, one thing remains clear: Tom Aspinall's reign continues, and the heavyweight division remains as unpredictable as ever. Move on to another news. One of the most highly anticipated main events of the year ended in shocking fashion, as Tom Aspinall vs Ciryl Gane at UFC 321 was ruled a no contest following an accidental eye poke in the opening round. What was billed as a monumental heavyweight showdown between two of the division's most athletic and technically gifted fighters quickly turned into one of the most controversial moments of 2025. The fight started with high intensity. Both men looked sharp. Gane utilized his signature footwork and crisp jab, while Aspinall immediately looked to close the distance and impose his power. However, less than 2 minutes into the first round, disaster struck. Gane extended his lead hand during an exchange, and his finger caught Aspinall directly in the eye. The British champion immediately stumbled back, clutching his face and telling the referee he couldn't see. The octagon went silent as medical personnel entered to assess the situation. After a brief examination, it was clear Aspinall was unable to continue, leading the referee to officially call the fight off. The bout was declared a no contest, a rare outcome in UFC title history, marking only the second time a championship fight has ended this way. Both fighters looked devastated in the aftermath. Aspinall clearly in pain and frustrated, was later transported to a local hospital for further evaluation. Gane, visibly emotional, approached him post-fight to express concern and respect. Despite the anticlimactic finish, the mutual sportsmanship between the two men was commendable, but the disappointment was palpable throughout the arena. Fans, however, were quick to react online, and not all of it was sympathetic. Some questioned Aspinall's toughness, suggesting he could have continued. Others defended the champion, pointing out that fighting with impaired vision could have caused serious, permanent damage. The debate quickly spiraled across social media platforms, with the MMA community split over whether the fight should be rescheduled immediately. Amid the heated discussions, Jon Jones, the current lineal UFC heavyweight champion and one of the most polarizing figures in combat sports, decided to add fuel to the fire. Jones posted a short Instagram story mocking Aspinall just moments after the no contest was announced. The post read, "Grown man out here chasing his dreams," seemingly ridiculing the British fighter's reaction to the eye poke. The story was swiftly deleted, but not before screenshots circulated across MMA news outlets and fan pages. Jones' reaction drew immediate criticism from fans who accused him of insensitivity, especially given the seriousness of the incident. Others interpreted his post as mind games, a way to stir the pot and keep his name in the heavyweight conversation amid ongoing talks of a potential Jones vs Aspinall superfight. Despite the controversy, both Aspinall and Gane expressed a strong desire to run it back. In their post-fight interviews, they acknowledged the disappointing ending and agreed that the only fair solution is a rematch. "We owe the fans the fight they deserved," Gane said backstage. Aspinall, once medically cleared, is expected to issue an official statement in the coming days. The anticlimactic end to UFC 321 leaves the heavyweight division in a strange position, with Aspinall still holding the undisputed title, Gane's momentum halted, and Jon Jones once again looming as a potential disruptor. While the fight may have ended in chaos, one thing is certain: the story isn't over. Fans are already buzzing about a possible rematch, and perhaps, a future collision course between Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones, the fight that could finally decide who truly is the most dangerous man on the planet.